Welcome back to my food forest on the first day of summer, 2022. Who can believe it? Here's a little flower patch. Used to have flowers on it. Don't know if you can see, but all of the tops have been bit. Wonder what ate it. Oh, look. Can you see the perfect print of a deer? Yeah. This is why I have a fence. Everything looking so green and lush in here. Unfortunately, including the lawn. Still having trouble with my irrigation system, so I'm using the sprinkler, which I'm not a fan of. My hazelnut bush seems to be looking healthier this year than the past couple when I planted it, and the lupins are still giving me beautiful purple joy. All along this bed, if you recall, along the bottom is potatoes, which weren't even coming up a couple weeks ago when I last took a video. And as you can see, the chickpeas or garbanzo beans are climbing up to the fence finally, and got some pepper plants and some flowers finally coming, and then more pepper plants, and then garbanzo beans. As you may remember, each panel has that same repeated pattern, but each panel has a different pepper and a different set of flowers going. So you can see these guys are doing better. A lot of peppers even already on here. Even some of these Hungarian peppers. Good. Nice. Potatoes all coming up. The potato beetle has found me, so I am doing a little recon killing those. And the cucumbers. Yum. Waiting for these. They're a little late, and my scarlet scapes are a little early. Usually I can make dill pickles on them. I put a few extra poles in the middle to give them help climbing up to the top. This is where we turn the corner, and instead of russet potatoes, this is where the Yukon Gold potatoes start. They seem to mostly have come up. Although this guy up here is a leftover from last year. I can't even remember what I planted. But the gladiolas are nice and tall. There's like 5 in each copper ring, and in the middle is my red Italia peppers. They're still looking peaked. Got some manure. I think I'm going to give them a fertilize and hope to help them out. Cantaloupe finally getting up to the fence. But everything along here is looking pretty healthy. Watermelon climbing up the fence. It's good. Don't know if it's going to get me. Fingers crossed. I have a very short season here in Maine. These 2 watermelon plants look a little healthy. Then we come around the corner and we get to my 3 sisters. Look at the difference from last time. Can't barely see the hill. The leaves are, I don't know, as big as my arm. Big. The beans are coming up. The corn is doing well. You can see it's all leaning. We had a really big windstorm here last night. This is a new transplanted hazelnut bush that's not as robust as the other, but it has survived the transplant. You can see all my sunflowers have gotten nice and tall, and if you see the leaves dying down at the bottom, I just transplanted a whole bunch of bearded irises that a friend gave me that we won't see bloom till next year. Here's all my dill. Check it out, getting ready to give me some seeds for the pickles. Good timing. I'm probably gonna back plant this. I've done planted twice, probably will do it again. My apple tree looking healthy and green and strong. I don't know if you can see that it has apples about the size of walnut. Most of them are up high on this one. I was concerned for this girl because the two apple trees are supposed to be in bloom at the same time to cross-pollinate, and this guy was late. And I'm wondering if that's why that none of the bottom blossoms got germinated. This guy's doing good. I think it's a butterfly plant, not sure. All my crazy Egyptian walking onions. Can you see this? I've never seen such silliness. All of these will flop over and bury themselves in the ground and start new onions. So yeah, first year my wild onions are doing great. Here's my cilantro bed, which has the middle first planting, this low part second planting, and I just did a third planting here. And in the middle, my garden, food forest, is my herb garden with everything from oregano to basil, chives, sage, thyme, all those transplanted and have loved this new spot. And of course this huge wild celery lavage plant and all the red Maria potatoes around the edge that are already flowering. So I can start picking those soon. The echinacea on the end, planted last spring, and I still haven't seen a blossom, but looks like I'm going to get some. Nice. Here's my gorgeous Corland apple. And you can see all the apples on this one, and they're more the size of like golf balls. And there's lots more of them. And they're lower and easier to pick. So that's cool. I transplanted this borage and sunflower plant. Not sure they'll survive. They need water, even though it rained all day yesterday. We'll see. On this bed, you can see the birdhouse gourds are coming up nice. You can see the whole row of scallions. And then my 1, 2, 3, look how tall this one is. Above my navel of my black cherry tomatoes. And these are my yellow pear tomatoes. And why is this caged? It's my catnip. I keep the cat out. She's allowed to eat anything that falls out of the side. And my 2 little echinacea transplants. Not doing that great, and I'm hoping this is calendula survives. See how this leaf is. I believe it should look more like that one. So we'll see what grows there. My bed of Shasta daisy and high bush blueberries. As you can see, they're just turning purple now. In the next couple days, blueberries for the first time ever on my property. And all my Shasta daisy plants coming up. A couple of sunflowers thrown in there, a big quince. Here's my other high bush. Not as many berries on there, but it is the first year. There's some. And then on this bed, like this bed and that bed, There is asparagus and my low bush blueberries, which come later in the year but have many berries on them. And this potato is a red fingerling, and it's already flowering, which is nice. My grapevine's looking cool, climbing up the trellis well. I've seen some evidence of grapes. Will we get some this year? Don't know. First year I've ever planted them. So this bed has the Concord grapes and the purple asparagus. And here on the other side of my water feature, on this bed, has green grapes, which I just finally got to plant this week and have transplanted in. And this has the green asparagus, and at the end, more low bush blueberries. And this is a Yukon gem potato, kind of like a Yukon Gold, not as famous, but not as good as a keeper. But I had some left over from last year, so I planted them. Overall, I think the whole garden's looking amazing. Starting to get some flowers blooming again. All the spring stuff is gone, and it's been so cold here. I believe the high yesterday was 52, so my summer flowers don't want to bloom. There's a few little things just peeking out. Borage, for example. But I'm happy to say my clematis did survive the transplant, and I will have them climbing up and over my front door on both sides. So that's awesome. I was really afraid I'd murdered it, but overall, very happy with my garden and my food forests and my efforts. So proud.